Yo, this is Big Jake reporting live with another story about a boy, 15 years old, loves the X Games. He's white, but his best friend is black. Black. And it's gonna be and this story is gonna be totally off the hook, dudes. So sit back and enjoy. Like totally. One one time there was a there was a white boy who lived in Alaska. He loved all the X Games, and so did his best friend who was black. The boy's name was Crash. He had a twin sister named Tina and a younger brother named Lenny. And also, and they both loved to surf too. They were always looking out for each other. Every time they get in a situation, they always helped each other out of it. But one time, I'm there was a situation that Crash had to work on his own. One time, Crash was snowboarding with his sister and brother up in the mountains of Alaska. Ska. He kept doing a lot of X Games stuff. Skateboarding, rollerblading, snowboarding, boarding, tubing, bing, skiing, skiing, jumps, everything just extreme. And so until one day, until one day, a a a notice came about the high school X Games. It was gonna be in Miami, Florida, Florida. Or Crash was totally hyped, and said, "Dude, I am so gonna score at this. This is like gonna be so totally awesome. Some, some first prize all the way." And so, Crash was practicing on and off every single day. Day. Hey, the sister and the brother practiced along with them. They knew they were gonna have a totally awesome time in Miami, Florida. As you know, in Miami it's hot all year around, and in Alaska it's cold all year around. And so, oh, finally the big day come. Um, the Crash, his sister and his brother went to Miami to compete. As they landed in Miami, they got they got a taxi and went to the place where the X Games were, and went to the big place, hey, the big stadium where the high school X Games were being held. Hold. And all and also they also kept practicing there, because at the X Games there was rock climbing, luge lugeurage, skateboarding, rollerblading, bike riding, motors motorcycle riding, and humps, and much more. That's extreme stuff. It was, it's totally awesome. It's like totally awesome. Some Crash was like so totally psyched. "Oh, dude," he said, "all this extreme stuff, it's gonna be extreme all the way, dudes. Oots. totally awesome. He was like extremely psyched. Hyped. Hyped. He felt really, really confident. He's going to go first place all the way. And so finally, the high school X Games started. And Travis was doing very well. But as you had noticed, as he was doing very well, he unknown to him, there was someone who decided to win there was someone who wanted to win the X Games just as much as he does. That man was named as Robert. Bird. He was, but you see, Robert was not a very nice guy. He was a bully at school. And was always anxious to win. Every time the high school X Games came around, he always wanted to cheat his way to the top. And a few competitions, he has cheated his way to the top and everything. So he tried cheating against Crash, but it wasn't actually working. And so, he cooked up a plan. Robert asked his sister to go get with Crash. And so the sister was really happy to help. And so when the sister walked up to Crash was like, "Oh, dude!" She totally liked her. And they spent a lot of time together, had their fun, went to get ice cream, went to a lot of restaurants, and just hung around a lot in the hotel together. After all that spending time with that girl, Crash decided it was time for them to be sweethearts. The girl was about to lead him into the trap, but the girl was probably regretting it because she was having all those. But the girl was regretting it because she was having all those fun times with him. And so, she leads him right into the trap, asking him to take, and asked him to take the drink, and he gave him a drink, and put something in. She put something in the drink that made him completely pass out. And as he was asleep, she did something very horrible to him. She did something to him in the bed that you probably know. What anyone would do when they make someone pass out. And then she left him out in the streets. Still passed out. And he was all naked as well. And so they go. And so morning came, and the brother and sister find Crash laying on the ground. They take him to the hospital, and Crash was he just felt disgusted. He felt cheap. He felt used. The sister was the girl, Robert's sister, was disguised as as a nurse. As soon as she heard all that, as soon as she heard all that stuff, she broke down in tears, started crying. And, however, Robert, I so could not believe I did that. And I was having so much fun with that boy, she was saying. And so, Crash's brother, Lenny, was going to help him practice some more. But Crash was refusing and was about to give up. But the brother and sister told him there are other women, there are other girls out there that are much better than that. That Crash asks, do you think there will be a girl? Do you think there's a girl out there for me, little dude? Dude, he asked Lenny. Of course there is. There's someone out there for everybody. The sister agrees. The Crash's best friend, Tom, who's a black guy, who's a black kid, had heard the news and came to check on Crash. Crash told him he was okay, and he was back pumped up. He was gonna be in the X Games. And so Tom tells Crash that Robert told his sister to set you up to do all that stuff she did. And so Crash was very angry. And Tom also said that Robert has been cheated in every X Games. And so Crash and Tom cooked up a plan to find out, to discover his cheating ways. Finally, the X Game semifinals started. Crash won every X Game. Crash was able to make it through every obstacle in the X Game, the rock climbing and everything, until it came down just to him and Robert. And they decided to do a race. Unknown to him, Robert had friends that helped him cheat. But unknown to Robert, Crash's friend Tom had an idea how to expose him. So the race began, and first it was surfing. Then it went down to rollerblading. And then the last event was skateboarding. Robert placed a trap, blowing up the high school X Games sign, and trying to make it fall on top of Crash. But then, so sure he would win, Bradley sped up and the sign kind of looked like it landed on Crash, but it didn't. Bradley was smiling, his evil smile, just smiled, his stupid smile. But then, all of a sudden, he was shocked to see Crash come out alive. He could not believe it. So he sped up even more, trying to win. But Crash was able to catch up to him and hit the finish line before him. Crash won. Crash was able to win the. Crash was able to win in the high school X Games, and won the trophy. Robert was outraged. He called all his friends stupid, his little sister stupid, and everything. And Tom showed the video. Tom showed the video to the broadcasters, the one who were showing the high school X Games on TV. He showing that Robert had been cheating the whole time. And after all that, after seeing all that, Robert was forbidden to compete in high school X Games ever again. And so Crash went back home with his family with a big old trophy. And all of a sudden, he heard a knock at the door. It happened to be Robert's sister. She told Crash everything. How her big brother Robert threatened to kill her rabbit, her precious rabbit, and everything. That rabbit meant more to her than anything, and so she had no choice but to do what he said. Crash completely understood and forgave her. And guess what? Crash did? Pulled her close to him and kissed her, smack dab right on the lips. They were now boyfriend and girlfriend, and Crash is a high school X Games winner. And that, my friends, is the story of the extreme Alaska boy. The end. Hit subscribe if you want to hear more stories and songs. And remember, and always remember, go for your dreams, dude, because that's the only way you can accomplish them. You can do anything you set your mind to, dude. This is Big Jake signing off. Peace out, dudes.